who I would cast to play as the 5-star characters if I ever made a real film. Why am I making this? I don't know, man. This stuff's fun and cool. First up, we got Dawson. This is the main character that I play. Now, I have all these actors and actresses written down. These are people that are either well-known or have been in multiple things. So I wasn't just pulling random people, like random lookalikes on Google and being like, they would be a good actor for my character. No, these are actual actors and people that I could see realistically playing one of my characters. Sebastian Stan is who I would like to cast as Dawson in a scenario where I made a real film. I think his face is completely identical to Dawson's face. It is really weird. Let me get a better picture of him here. Here we go. But yeah, I mean, just look, dude. I mean, look how alike they look. It's really uncanny. You know, a part of me wonders if because I use Claude Speed, I use his face in the heritage settings to make Dawson. Sometimes I wonder, as stupid and dumb as it sounds, sometimes I wonder if when they made Claude Speed, if they based his face off of Sebastian Stan. Who knows? I think that does sound kind of stupid, but it's not impossible. I mean, they just look way too much alike. So I think I would absolutely cast Sebastian Stan as Dawson. The only problem is that Sebastian Stan is like, what? How old is he? He's 43. Dawson, as of Fastlane 1, 2, and 3, is supposed to be 24. So this wouldn't work in a realistic scenario. Again, this is all hypothetical, of course. I'm not actually going to direct a Hollywood movie with these characters.
Well, no fucking shit.
But if he was like younger, so let me do 20-year-old Sebastian Stan. Yeah, I could absolutely see him playing Dawson. It's weird. He looks almost less like him when he's younger, which is weird. See, he looks more like Dawson when he's older than when he's younger. I don't get that, man. But by the way, the person that made this connection was not originally me. It was Kate Doris, the girl who is going to voice a character in Fastlane 3. She also appeared in the Zenless Zone Zero dub we did on this channel. She played Belle. A year ago, she made these really adorable like mood boards, I guess is what they're called, for my characters. She made one for Dawson, Irene, Crystal, Alvin, and then her character that's going to be in Fastlane 3. They are the best things ever. Every time I see them, I smile. It is something that I cherish deeply. But when she picked Sebastian Stan to be as Dawson's lookalike, and when I saw it, when she sent them to me and I saw it, I'm like, what, who is that? He looks so much like Dawson. So I give her credit for this because I had no idea who he was. I don't watch Marvel or whatever, like the movies that he's in. So she's the reason I would go with Sebastian Stan for Dawson. Now for Irene, on this one, I went kind of back and forth on who I would cast for her, but I ultimately landed on Violet Bean or Benet, however you say her last name. But I would go with her. I think her face structure is the most fitting for any actress that I've seen. I think she looks the most like Irene. I was originally going to go with, even some of these down here, like she really looks like her. I could just absolutely see it. I think she would be perfect for Irene. But I was kind of going back and forth between her and Haley Steinfeld. Haley Steinfeld also kind of has a similar look, but I think Violet is just ultimately, like, I think she's for the most part right on the money. I think she would be very fitting for the character. Now, obviously, she would have to, you know, have the correct hair and whatnot, which that can always be done later. But yeah, but we're not talking about that. Alvin was kind of a tough one, but I think Nicholas Hoult, would be the best for Alvin. If you just kind of look at him, like they look very, very similar. I mean, he does kind of have like the basic white guy look. This is the same thing with some of my other characters, but I mean, honestly, there's no denying how similar they look. Okay, now Crystal was a complicated one. Initially, there was a picture of a girl that I clicked on thinking she looked like Crystal, and one thing led to another, and I kind of found out that she's a porn star. Lana Carter. I just think her face structure, again, is very similar to Crystal's, nearly identical in my eyes. I mean, you can't deny it's pretty similar, right? But since she's not a Hollywood actor, she's an actor, but not a Hollywood actor, I would undoubtedly cast Emma Myers as Crystal. I think she's just got the face for it. She would do really well with playing her character, I think, just based on, you know, her performances I've seen. I mean, don't tell me you can't see her playing Crystal. She would be a perfect Crystal. I mean, granted, she doesn't look absolutely identical to her, but she looks enough like her to where I could absolutely see it. Yeah, so that's who I would go for Crystal. I pulled up her metahuman just to compare, and yeah, I mean, they do have their differences, but ultimately I think Emma Myers would be the best choice for a Crystal. Now here's where we start getting into like more unknown-ish territory, unless you're in Russia, of course. But for Ivan, this one was really complicated because I don't know any, you know, Russian actors. Like, I'm sure there are some American actors out there that might look similar to him, but like, I'm going authentic, baby. I want it to be a Russian, like an actual Russian. The best Russian actor I could find that looks similar to Ivan is Alexei Chatov. I mean, he just kind of has, you know, that look, I guess. He just kind of looks similar to him. Like, if you look at some of these other photos, like I can absolutely see him playing, especially like season 1 Ivan right here. I mean, I can see it. I don't know about you, but I can absolutely see it. Yeah. I think he'd be the best possible choice for Ivan, especially considering he's Russian and he's an actor. I just think Alexei Chatov for Ivan. I think Dimitri's was the hardest one out of this entire list. I have all these written down in a note, by the way. Dimitri's was just so tough to find a Russian actor that looked like him. He has a very, like, man, I don't even know how to call it. He just has a very rough look, you know, like he's been through some stuff, and he's got the gaunt cheeks. You know, it's kind of hard to find someone that looks anything like Dimitri. His face also inherits many of John Marsden's facial features. So, and I don't know who John Marsden's based on, but Dimitri definitely has his own customizations done by Chandler. The person I would say settled with for Dimitri is this guy, Kirill Caro, I guess is how, I don't know how it's pronounced, but you know, he's a Russian actor. He just kind of has a similar, like, you know, just kind of rough look. You know, not calling him ugly, of course, but like, I just couldn't find a Russian actor that looked like any closer to Dimitri. And also, fun fact, Dimitri is the only character that I didn't design. Dimitri was designed by Chandler, or said on YouTube. But yeah, so this is who I would go with for Mr. Dim Dim. Now for Kat, this one was fairly simple. I mean, Kat is older. In season 4, in this episode, she is 36? 35, 36. I can't remember what I decided on, but I would go with Mary Elizabeth Winstead for Kat. I just think she just kind of looks similar to her. She's also around the same age, so I think, you know, she'd be a really good fit for Kat. I've also been like kind of into Scott Pilgrim a little bit, and that's why when I looked at Kat, I'm like, I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead would be good for Kat. So, I mean, I could see it. Could you? I mean, I could totally see that, especially in this photo for some reason. I think just she has, like, she's wearing the red here and then the lipstick color. Kat, I mean, this is not a good example, but Kat usually wears her color scheme. Every character has kind of their own color scheme. Her color scheme is usually red or magenta or just that kind of color. I think this photo really sells it for me. Now for Sam, I would absolutely, undoubtedly go with Alexander Ludwig. He just has that perfect freaking look, man. He just looks just like him, in my opinion. I could absolutely see him playing Sam. Like if he had, in some of these photos, if he had like similar hair, I think it'd be better. Let me see. Like this, I mean, that thing that might be as close as we're gonna get, because that actually is nowhere near that. But like, I could definitely see this guy playing Sam. Now for Gavin, this isn't the best picture, or Alex, actually. I would go with Tanner Buchanan. Alex kind of just has that like basic white guy look. You know, I think Tanner Buchanan would be a decent fit. I'm sure there are multiple other guys that would be a good fit for Alex. I just think, you know, this is just kind of the one I landed on. So, I mean, I could see it. Now, Cameron, again, it's the same sort of thing. He still just kind of has, you know, that basic look. I mean, yeah, they do have their own face designs, but when it comes to trying to find someone that looks just like him, it's kind of tough. But I landed on Sam McCarthy. You know, again, has a similar look, and just kind of has that basic white guy flair, but you know, I don't know, man. I mean, I can kind of see it now, actually. I can see it a bit more than I did before. You know, I could for sure see him playing a good Cameron. He looks just like him, honestly. But you know, once again, Cameron does look pretty average. So for the record, I'm not insulting any of these actors. It's just, it gets to a point when the character just doesn't really look unique from your average 19-year-old, which is how old Cameron is. It gets harder to like really be like, oh yeah, this looks exactly like this character. Like for Irene, Irene's been a character for almost 6 years now, at least for me. I mean, I made her before I made 5-star, so I know her face really well. Same thing with Dawson, but these characters are relatively newer. Yes, I've spent a lot of time looking at them from editing these episodes, but like it's sometimes it's hard to like even now be able to find an exact match to their face. But said all I have to say is Sam McCarthy, I think, would be a decent fit for Cameron. And last but not least, we have Wes, and he was kind of tough to figure out who he looked like. But I ultimately landed on Tom Hardy. I don't know. He just kind of has a similar look. Wes does have slightly darker skin, but other than that, actually, I don't know. But no, I could absolutely see Tom Hardy playing Wes. I think he'd be a great fit. Not much else to say other than that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the flip side.